This happened to me 2 years ago, in the summer. I was 14 back then. I lived in a small town in Estonia. I have a best friend, let's call him Stan. Stan lived right next door. Stan and I really loved exploring in the forest. We would often find some really cool places. One day, we decided to visit an old mansion that was located in the middle of the woods, and behind it was a big, beautiful lake. The mansion was a few miles from our apartments. We started walking there, and while walking, we joked about the manor, how we would see ghosts and abnormal things. When we arrived at the manor, it gave really bad vibes. My friend noticed it and told me that it felt very creepy and that we should go. I told him not to be such a pussycat, and we went inside. Biggest mistake of my life. The mansion did not have stairs, so we had to climb up through the window. When we were inside, I don't know what happened, but I got chills, like someone was watching us. We went to the second floor. It was all covered in rocks. My friend started to slowly lose it. He wanted to leave so badly. I told him, Wait, we haven't finished going to the attic. That's where the problem started. When we arrived in the attic, we began to explore it. Then suddenly, my friend screamed. I flinched and asked him what was going on, but I could barely finish my sentence when I saw a woman hanging from her wrists. She had white foam around her mouth and bruises around her body. We ran downstairs like maniacs, climbed out and ran towards the town. When I was running, I saw what looked like a doll sitting on a tree branch. When I looked away, it was gone. We called the police and I told them about the woman and the doll. They went in the manor and they found the woman with the doll right next to it. Later, the police told us that the woman was poisoned with strychnine. Then I looked up in Google about its history. The manor belonged to a very rich family in the 1900s, and the mansion was abandoned because the wife was a serial killer who poisoned at first her whole family and then all of her relatives. And guess what she always left behind? A doll. My mom once told me about her mother's childhood scary story. When my grandma was a child, her family moved to a new house. The house my grandma moved to was a long-legged home, and there was always water under the house. If you wanted to go to a neighbor's house, you had to go by boat. My grandma's family was all Buddhists, so they cooked dishes at night, and in the morning, they donated the dishes to monks, as is tradition. But strange things began to happen in that house. Dishes were disappearing every day, as if someone had stolen them. At first, it was thought that a family member had eaten them, but the dishes were prepared for 3 or 4 people and more than a single serving. One person couldn't eat all that food. After months of such strange things, the water under their long-legged house began to recede, and they came down to clean there. Then, my grandma saw a horrible thing. It exposed something creepy. It was a dead body wrapped around one of the house's long legs, and it was already decomposed. My grandma's family realized that the person who stole all the dishes was the dead body. My mom told me that the dead body must have been killed by something or someone and then left in the river. We then watched as the water flowed back in, and the body was taken out with the current and floated down the river.